Let's turn back to federal politics now. Joining me is the Labor member for Parramatta, Andrew Charlton. I want to play you, first of all, this comment by Peter Dutton. He was in your seat. I'm sure you warmly welcome the opposition leader to Parramatta today, but have a listen and I'll get your reaction to it. Have a look.
Firstly, thank you very much to Meon and the team here at Parramatta Toyota. I really appreciated the engagement, the discussion which we've had in relation to the new car tax and the new ute tax that the government's proposing.
Peter Dutton talking about the emissions standards, the emissions vehicle standards. The government says it's simply bringing it into line with the United States by 2028. The coalition's saying it's a ute tax. How do you win this debate, Andrew?
Well, good to be with you, Kieran. Look, there is a lot of misinformation out there about the new vehicle emissions standards, and Peter Dutton is responsible for spreading a lot of that misinformation. So let me be clear with your viewers. There are no makes or models of cars that will be banned or inaccessible under these new standards. In fact, Australians will have greater choice than they did before because we'll be telling the international car makers that they can't use Australia as a dumping ground for their poorer emissions vehicles. So all Australians will have more choice. That's good for motorists. We'll have lower emissions. That's good for the environment. And it's also good for the hip pocket because more efficient vehicles are cheaper to run. So this is a good news story for motorists, for the environment, and for Australians doing it tough under cost of living pressure.
There are negotiations, I believe, between the industry and the government. Are some subsidies, some supports needed to help massage a few of the difficulties here?
Well, look, the government is, of course, consulting with the industry to make sure that this comes in a smooth way. But ultimately, this is a system which operates across 85% of the global vehicle market. This isn't Australia going out on a limb. It's Australia joining the rest of the pack. And those countries have those vehicle emission standards because they know that they are good for motorists, good for the environment, and good for the hip pocket.
Let's look at a few other matters now, and the argument about the security vetting of asylum seekers, those fleeing the Palestinian territories. The government's saying the opposition's whipping up fear. Is an hour to process a protection visa too quick, though?
Kieran, the opposition is whipping up fear on this issue, and I want to be clear with your viewers that when Peter Dutton was Home Affairs Minister, he provided visas to 12,500 Syrians at the rate of 500 a week. He provided visas to 5,000 people coming from Afghanistan. We have provided visas to a bit more than 300 people who are arriving from the conflict in the Middle East. This is the same department, the same people, the same process. None of that has changed. So for Peter Dutton to be saying that bringing in 300 people over that time frame versus the many thousands he brought in very quickly under the same process with the same people, suddenly there's a security risk now. I mean, he has to be honest with the Australian people and say, is he just saying this for politics, or does he believe that the system that he operated was in some way flawed?